Ever get the feeling some actors were made for a role, down to the last hair and dimple? Here's Hollywood's most mind-bending doppelgangers, where fact and fiction start to look eerily alike. Enter Daniel Day-Lewis, who literally became Abraham Lincoln, with his worn lines and heavy gaze that practically echoed history. His towering frame and intense stare brought the Civil War years to life. Each scene feels like stepping back in time. But the real kicker? Day-Lewis stayed in character between takes, keeping everyone on edge. If Lincoln's ghost is watching, he'd probably tip his top hat in approval. Ben Kingsley stepped up, and let's be honest, he wasn't just portraying Gandhi, he was Gandhi. His transformation was so spot on that it caused a stir in India. Fans recognized Gandhi's gentle but firm spirit. Kingsley's lean physique, the round glasses, and that peaceful intensity in his eyes captured Gandhi's essence perfectly. And yes, it's almost spooky how he could channel that quiet strength. Now, leaving everyone in awe of this father of a nation, how do you capture the spirit of a bulldog in human form? Gary Oldman found a way. And wow, he looked so much like Winston Churchill it was hard to tell where Oldman ended and Churchill began. He turned Churchill's determined scowl into an art form with a stocky frame and jowly cheeks. But let's not forget his dedication. A 5-hour daily makeup ritual and voice training made the actor a perfect match for Britain's wartime leader. No surprise the world did a double take when Oldman stepped on set. He practically was Churchill. It's hard to imagine a world without Mr. Rogers' warm smile. And Tom Hanks gave us that comfort again with his picture-perfect resemblance. From the cozy cardigan to the soft-spoken mannerisms, Hanks was so close to the real Mr. Rogers that fans couldn't believe their eyes. Watching him on screen, it was almost like having Mr. Rogers back with us, one gentle, "Won't you be my neighbor?" at a time. Tom Hanks slipped into Rogers' iconic world so seamlessly that he made us feel right at home, just like the original. Now, casting Downey Jr. as Charlie Chaplin was pure genius and a touch uncanny. Downey looked like he'd just stepped out of a silent film with his lean figure, expressive face, and Chaplin's famous mustache. Watching him glide, stumble, and grin his way through the role, it's easy to see why fans were floored. This was more than an actor playing a part. Downey captured Chaplin's mischievous charm down to every raised eyebrow and exaggerated step. It's almost as if Chaplin himself was sharing a cheeky wink from beyond the screen. Talking about transformations, leave it to Meryl Streep to become the Iron Lady herself, Margaret Thatcher. The sharp nose, pursed lips, and those piercing eyes. It was like Thatcher had come back, handbag and all. Streep channeled that steely poise so well. Her resemblance to Britain's first female prime minister was enough to make anyone double-take. And with her famously precise accent work, she delivered Thatcher's speeches with that legendary gravitas. Streep's uncanny likeness went beyond makeup. It was pure Margaret through and through. Now, Freddie Mercury was larger than life. But Rami Malek did more than just step into his iconic mustache and wild outfits. He looked just like him. With those dramatic eyes and magnetic stage presence, Malek brought Freddie's spirit roaring back to life. Fans gasped at how effortlessly he mimicked Mercury's swagger, even down to every flick of the mic stand and iconic pose. Watching him, it was hard to tell where Rami ended and Freddie began. Let's just say he didn't just sing, he rocked the look. This Angela Bassett strutted onto the stage as Tina Turner. It was like she'd borrowed Turner's dynamite spirit and her killer looks too. Those iconic legs, fierce gaze, and unmistakable lioness hairstyle made it feel like Tina herself was ready to belt out Proud Mary. Bassett's transformation was so spot on that even Tina's biggest fans did a double take. Bassett rocked Turner's larger-than-life style. It gives audiences a glimpse of the real Tina with every electrifying scene. Watching her, you couldn't help but cheer along as she brought Turner's fire to life. Jamie Foxx didn't just play Ray Charles, he looked so much like him. Fans said it felt like they were watching the real deal. Foxx was Ray, from the smooth voice to the quick fingers on the piano, with those famous shades, the head tilts, and that infectious grin. Fox's uncanny resemblance was so strong that it even threw off Charles's old friends and family. And with Fox's own musical chops, he nailed Ray's energy. It made fans feel like they were seeing a legend reborn. It's safe to say, he struck the perfect note. Will Smith as Muhammad Ali, now that's a knockout casting choice. Smith bulked up, mastered Ali's moves, and practically became the greatest. His resemblance to the boxing legend was jaw-dropping, from the fast-talking charm to that powerful stance in the ring. Smith's dedication brought out Ali's electric personality, making fans feel like they were back in the golden era of boxing. Watching him duck, weave, and talk his way through the role, it was almost impossible to tell where Smith ended and Ali began. He was a champ through and through. When Denzel Washington took on Malcolm X, he didn't just resemble him, he embodied him. With that intense gaze, the confident stance, and Malcolm's signature horn-rimmed glasses, Washington channeled the civil rights leader so convincingly. It felt like Malcolm himself had stepped back on stage. Fans were left in awe, watching Washington echo Malcolm's fire and conviction. He's delivering those famous speeches as if he'd lived through them. Washington brought Malcolm X's presence and powerful look back to life, showing us exactly what made him such a formidable figure. Capturing the wild energy of Jim Morrison is never easy, but Val Kilmer didn't just nail the look, he became the legendary rock star. From the wavy hair to the piercing stare, Kilmer's resemblance to Morrison was so uncanny that even the Doors' bandmates were stunned. Kilmer's hauntingly accurate performance felt like Morrison himself was back on stage, swaying and chanting as he did in the 60s. Fans were left wondering if Kilmer had channeled Morrison's spirit, making for one unforgettable trip back to rock and roll's heyday. Look at when Joaquin Phoenix took on the role of Johnny Cash. He didn't just capture the Man in Black's voice, but his striking look, too. Phoenix channeled Cash's mysterious aura with jet black hair, sharp cheekbones, and a brooding stare. Fans could practically feel Cash's presence. Also, Phoenix's likeness makes every strum of the guitar feel hauntingly real. And with his deep, gravelly tone, he nailed the intensity that defined Cash's music. Watching him, you'd swear Phoenix was Cash reincarnated. Giving us a walk through Johnny's life, one iconic performance at a time. Transforming into a notorious figure like Aileen Wuornos takes guts, and Charlize Theron delivered. With prosthetics, a grittier look, and hauntingly similar expressions, Theron vanished into Wuornos's troubled persona. Her resemblance was so uncanny, fans did a double take. Now, wondering if they were watching a documentary instead of a film. Theron's transformation captured Wuornos's turmoil. It created an unsettling realism that made every scene feel raw. With each glance, she brought Wuornos's story back to life, proving that some roles aren't just played, they're embodied. Let's face it, no one expected Christian Bale to look like Dick Cheney. But with a staggering physical transformation, extra pounds, prosthetics and all, Bale turned into Cheney's doppelganger. The resemblance was shocking, from the furrowed brows to the steely glare. Bale brought Cheney's controversial spirit to life. He's embodying every quirk and expression of the former vice president. The transformation was so complete that viewers forgot they were watching Bale at all. It was Cheney in every sense, down to that menacing smirk that defined him. Renee Zellweger didn't just capture Judy Garland's voice, she embodied her look too. With Garland's iconic red lips, bright eyes, and that heartbreaking smile, Zellweger transformed into a hauntingly close image of the star. Fans felt Garland's presence again. It's reliving her highs and lows through Zellweger's portrayal. It was like Judy herself had come back to serenade her audience one last time, capturing every ounce of her beauty and pain. Watching Zellweger on stage, you could almost hear the whispers of Garland's unforgettable legacy. Lucille Ball is an icon, so finding someone who could match her look was no small feat. Nicole Kidman, with those signature curls and sharp, expressive eyes, stepped into Ball's heels, and she became the beloved redhead herself. Kidman's likeness to Ball was uncanny. She's channeling her charm and wit as if she'd just walked off an old TV set. Fans watched in awe as she embodied the I Love Lucy star, bringing her charisma to life. Kidman's resemblance was so spot on that she became Lucille all over again. Every laugh and smile reminded us why we loved her. When Natalie Portman donned Jackie Kennedy's iconic style, she didn't just look the part, she embodied the elegance of America's most famous First Lady. With Jackie's soft voice, poised gestures, and classic outfits, Portman looked like she'd stepped straight out of Camelot. Her transformation felt like a window into the past. It's capturing Jackie's grace and resilience during her most challenging days. Fans couldn't help but be captivated by Portman's portrayal. Each frame feels like a timeless photograph of the real Jackie. It was as if she'd brought the icon back to life. Casting Cate Blanchett as Bob Dylan? Unexpected, but her transformation into the rock legend was so flawless. It felt like Dylan himself was on screen. With his scruffy hair, intense gaze, and that laid-back attitude, Blanchett became a near-perfect clone. Fans were stunned by how she pulled off Dylan's look and feel, just right down to his trademark sunglasses and quirky mannerisms. It was like watching a version of Dylan that only the 1960s could produce, now making audiences do a double take at just how perfectly Blanchett fits the role. Paul Dano as Brian Wilson was like seeing the Beach Boys' genius come to life. With the tousled hair, wide eyes, and that soulful yet haunted look, Dano didn't just play Wilson, he became him. Fans felt like they were watching Wilson's story unfold in real time. Even as Dano captured the musician's charm and hidden struggles, each note and expression felt as though Wilson himself was in the room, making Dano's resemblance both touching and eerie. It was a true look inside the mind of a musical legend. With her big hair, bold makeup, and expressive eyes, Jessica Chastain as Tammy Faye Bakker was uncanny. From the glitzy costumes to the famous mascara-streaked tears, Chastain captured Tammy Faye's larger-than-life persona down to a T. Fans were astonished by the striking resemblance. They felt like they were witnessing the real Bakker story all over again. Chastain's dedication to the role made every scene pop, showing the world Tammy Faye's big heart, signature look, and that unbreakable smile. Ashton Kutcher stepping into Steve Jobs' iconic black turtleneck was so spot on it was eerie. With Jobs' intense gaze, slender build, and signature glasses, Kutcher looked like he'd stepped out of Apple's early days. Fans were struck by Kutcher's uncanny resemblance. It's like watching him channel Jobs' innovative spirit and relentless ambition. From his poised walk to the intense focus in his eyes, Kutcher made viewers feel like they were witnessing the tech legend's journey firsthand. It was as if Jobs himself was back, bringing his visionary energy to the screen. Michelle Williams stepped into Marilyn Monroe's iconic blonde curls and red lips, and she didn't just look like her. She brought Monroe's essence back to life. With that famous smile and vulnerable gaze, Williams transformed into the Hollywood icon, creating an almost mirror image. Fans were mesmerized by how she captured Monroe's charm and quiet sadness. It makes each scene feel like a true glimpse into the star's world. Williams's transformation was so striking that it was hard to tell where she ended and Marilyn began. Margot Robbie brought her own spark to Tonya Harding, but her resemblance was undeniable. From the bleach blonde hair to Harding's fierce look on the ice, Robbie became a dead ringer for the infamous figure skater. Fans were captivated by how closely Robbie mirrored Harding's rebellious spirit. She captured the raw edge that made Harding both unforgettable and notorious. Watching her spin, fall, and fight through Harding's ups and downs felt like watching a gritty documentary. Robbie's likeness to Harding was as sharp as her skates, making every scene thrilling. Naomi Watts stepping into Princess Diana's royal shoes was an emotional moment for fans. With Diana's iconic haircut, gentle smile, and poised demeanor, Watts looked like she'd brought the people's princess back. Fans couldn't believe the resemblance as Watts captured Diana's graceful presence. She's creating a sense of nostalgia that feels deeply personal. From the way she carried herself to her compassionate expressions, Watts's portrayal was a beautiful tribute. It was like watching Diana herself on screen, reminding the world of her unforgettable legacy. Kristen Stewart took a different approach to Diana, but her resemblance was equally striking. With a softer look and Diana's signature shy gaze, Stewart embodied the people's princess in a way that felt hauntingly real. Fans were taken aback by Stewart's transformation. It's capturing Diana's vulnerability with an almost ghostly accuracy. Each scene felt like a glimpse into Diana's world, with Stewart channeling her quiet strength and inner turmoil. Her likeness was so uncanny that it made audiences feel like Diana herself was back, walking through royal halls once again. Emma Stone brought her natural charm to Billie Jean King, but her resemblance to the tennis icon was uncanny. With the short haircut, round glasses, and determined expression, Stone looked like a younger King on the court. Fans couldn't believe how effortlessly she channeled the fierce energy that made King a sports legend. Watching her fight her way through matches felt like a real-life rally. Stone's transformation captures the powerful spirit of a true champion. It was an ace performance that had everyone cheering. Stepping back in time, Saoirse Ronan's resemblance to Mary, Queen of Scots, was mesmerizing. With her fiery red hair, regal bearing, and intense gaze, Ronan captured Mary's bold spirit perfectly. Fans were entranced by her transformation, feeling like they were watching a real-life queen from centuries past. Ronan's likeness and fierce portrayal made each scene feel like a royal drama. It captures the complexities of Mary's reign. Watching her, it was easy to believe that history had come to life, complete with intrigue and power. Adrien Brody as Salvador Dali was an inspired choice that didn't disappoint. With Dali's iconic mustache, intense stare, and eccentric flair, Brody became a near-carbon copy of the surrealist master. Fans loved seeing Brody embody Dali's bizarre, larger-than-life personality, even bringing the artist's wild imagination to life. Brody's resemblance to Dali made each scene a surreal experience. It gives viewers a taste of Dali's unpredictable genius. It was as if Dali had stepped right out of a dream and into reality. Bradley Cooper's transformation into Leonard Bernstein was a true masterpiece. With a subtle prosthetic touch and that focused, expressive gaze, Cooper looked like he'd walked straight out of a concert hall in Bernstein's prime. Fans marveled at his likeness to the legendary conductor. He got it from his intense hand gestures to his reflective demeanor. Cooper's portrayal was a striking blend of passion and precision, making it easy to forget who was behind the baton. Watching him, it felt like the maestro himself was leading one more grand performance. Helena Bonham Carter took on the task of embodying Elizabeth Taylor, and the result was jaw-dropping. With Taylor's expressive eyes, glamorous look, and captivating style, Carter became a mirror image of the Hollywood legend. Fans were stunned by her likeness. They felt like watching the original queen of cinema come to life. From her dramatic expressions to her powerful on-screen presence, Carter captured Taylor's essence perfectly, making each scene feel like a tribute to Hollywood's golden era. When Austin Butler stepped into the King of Rock and Roll's blue suede shoes, fans couldn't believe the resemblance. With Presley's slick hair, soulful eyes, and unmistakable swagger, Butler seemed to channel Elvis's iconic charm effortlessly. His transformation was so spot-on that fans felt like they were watching Elvis himself sing, dance, and dazzle on stage. Butler's dedication to every hip swing and smoldering gaze made it easy to forget he wasn't the real deal. The king might be gone, but for a moment, Butler made it feel like he was right back with us. Tom Hardy as Al Capone was both intense and eerie, capturing the infamous gangster's hardened look perfectly. With a scarred face, piercing gaze, and menacing expressions, Hardy was a near-perfect doppelganger for Capone. Fans watched in awe as Hardy transformed into the feared mob boss. Down from the gruff mannerisms to the ruthless intensity that defined Capone. His chilling resemblance brought a gritty realism to every scene. It's making viewers feel like they were face-to-face with one of America's most notorious figures. Hardy's transformation left audiences captivated and a little unnerved. Eddie Redmayne's transformation into Stephen Hawking was so precise, it felt like watching a real-life physicist at work. With Hawking's lean frame, trademark glasses, and expressive smile, Redmayne looked like a mirror image of the genius himself. Fans were moved by his commitment to capturing Hawking's physical challenges with such respect and accuracy, making each moment feel both inspiring and heartbreaking. Redmayne's likeness to Hawking was truly powerful. It gave audiences a glimpse into the life of one of the most brilliant minds of our time. It was a performance that was as profound as it was real. Lily James as Pamela Anderson was a jaw-dropper. With the platinum blonde hair, signature red swimsuit, and striking resemblance, James seemed to embody the 90s bombshell to perfection. Fans were astonished by how much she looked like Anderson, from her iconic poses to that infamous charm that made Anderson a pop culture sensation. Watching her, it was easy to imagine being back on the beaches of Baywatch, seeing James channeling Anderson's look, style, and larger-than-life persona. She was every bit the iconic star, right down to the smallest detail. James Franco took on one of Hollywood's most eccentric figures, and his resemblance to Tommy Wiseau was eerily spot on. With Wiseau's long, unruly hair, unique accent, and bizarre mannerisms, Franco became a dead ringer for the cult filmmaker. Fans of The Room were floored by how Franco captured Wiseau's unpredictable charm. It makes every scene feel like it could have been straight from the infamous movie. It was a perfect match of look and persona. Franco pulled off Wiseau's mysterious vibe so well that viewers couldn't help but get sucked into the weirdness. Chadwick Boseman as James Brown brought the godfather of soul back to life with an electrifying resemblance that wowed fans. From Brown's lively dance moves to his signature facial expressions, Boseman captured the musician's essence down to a science. His transformation was so complete that fans felt like they were watching Brown himself on stage. It's reliving the legendary performances that made him a cultural icon. Boseman's likeness to Brown made every scene feel like a live concert, capturing the spirit of a true music legend and leaving audiences craving more.